Hello everybody, I'm Lucian Fogoros. I'm here in Miami with Eric Byres, the CEO of aDolus. Welcome, Eric.
Thanks very much. It's a real pleasure to be here.
So we're at the premier event for ICS cybersecurity. So Eric, give us what keeps you up at night? What are some of the most challenges aspects of industrial cybersecurity?
Well, I think the thing that keeps me up at night is sort of answering the question, what's the biggest risk? What is it? You can say, oh, we've got more ransomware coming, or there's way more ransomware, but the thing that scares me the most, really, is not the criminal groups doing ransomware, but when a nation state focuses on a critical infrastructure. So what we saw with, say, Pipe Dream, what we saw with SolarWinds, where you've got a very, very focused, highly funded adversary, and they're going to be rare. I mean, there's not that many highly funded, highly focused adversaries, but man, if they manage to achieve their mission, and we don't detect it like we didn't with SolarWinds, and like we almost didn't with Triton, then people are going to die. Then that's what really keeps me up. It's these high impact. They're rare, but they're high impact events.
Thanks for that. Sounds scary. Question is, what does your organization do to help perhaps mitigate that risk? Anything along aDolus?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've noticed in looking at nation-state adversarial groups is that the number one tool that they use is the supply chain, the software supply chain. Again, you go back and you look at Dragonfly, you look at the attacks on the SolarWinds attacks. They don't attack or don't try and penetrate their intended target victim. They go after a secondary supplier, get to it, modify the software, and then use that to go and have the impact on the intended target. And why would they do that? It's because it's got an amazing multiplier effect. Again, I always like going back to SolarWinds, but all of these apply. They got in, the attackers got into one company, SolarWinds, and then used that to leverage that to get to 18,000 companies. So what we want to do is be able to give that visibility to companies and say, hey, that component you just loaded, you bought some software, did you know it has Log4j in it? Do you know that it has vulnerable SolarWinds components? What is in there, so you have that visibility to understand what exactly is running the plant floor.
Got it. Thank you for that. And more on that as we get closer to some of the events online. The question is now, like, some of the technologies that are out there, emerging technologies, what do you see in terms of the biggest impact on industrial cybersecurity from the technology, the emerging technology perspective? There's a lot of that coming out.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool technology, and I have to say, I'm quite hopeful with the new, I like to call it enhanced machine learning. You can call it AI, whatever your buzzword of the day is. But one of the things that we've discovered, even in our company, we're dealing with 800 to 900 new CPEs and vulnerabilities every day. Now, if you've got a large facility, there's no way some poor guy is going to read 900 vulnerabilities, even just scan them and decide where they impact that plant. And so the automation tools that we're seeing now to automatically process that and say, hey, yes, there was 900 vulnerabilities this morning, and these 3 are the ones you better pay attention to, or this one. Or other things. For example, one of the things is when Log4j hit, what we saw, people scrambled to figure out whether they had any products with Log4j. Now there's tools like ours that will go through 6 million, 10 million, 100 million files and 1 billion components and say, the following products have Log4j in it. And not make it a multi-week adventure, costing millions of dollars to try and find it, but find it quickly. And so I'm really excited about these tools that I see coming out that are going to really reduce the workload and allow the security professional to focus on making decisions, not reading documents.
Got it. So one last question around that is, as you're going through this 9,000 files, incidents, logging, how do you make decisions on that? Where do you see ChatGPT or technology along those lines that may give more situational awareness to an operator like that?
Yeah, I mean, ChatGPT is a great example. In fact, we use one of their competitors because it has an API interface to literally help make decisions about what vulnerabilities affect what products. And so there's lots of opportunity, and we've got sort of our equivalent. a typical example is, well, everybody on this talk probably has heard of Allen Bradley, and you go and you search for vulnerabilities on, say, an Allen Bradley control Logix 1756 controller. Well, the trouble is, if you actually search the vulnerability databases for Allen Bradley, you won't find anything. You got to search for Rockwell Automation. So that's the type of thing that you can do with AI, is to be able to search for related alias terms. And that's actually critical to what we do, is trying to make those things that a really smart analyst could do. You know, hey, anybody who's been in this business long enough knows those relationships, but they can't do it at scale. And so we see that type of, maybe not ChatGPT directly, but that kind of underlying enhanced machine learning, making those decisions at scale. Hey, we know, literally what we're doing is we're building these massive analyzed lists of who's acquired who, who bought who, and what did they rename, and oh yeah, that product got renamed to this product. Well, those are all aliases. Can we hunt the world, or the information world, for information about those products and vulnerabilities and malware? And so I think that's really the thing. Can we make, distill down that lake of data down into what an analyst actually has to worry about in the morning? One or two things, not 1 or 2,000 things, or 1 or 2 million things.
Got it. Thank you so much. And if you're the audience and watching this, you have questions for Eric or Eric's team, feel free to leverage the hashtag on the screen, and we'll make sure we either bring Eric or somebody to answer those.
Thanks very much.